Hello, and welcome to the show. I'm Trichologist Lisa Akbari, your hair doctor, and I am super uber excited about today's show. As I'm really, to be honest, excited about all of my shows because number one, this is the day the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Number two, I get to share the gifts that God has given me. And that is super important to me. So let's hop right into it. Today's show, if you've never tuned in before, and if you are just tuning in for the very first time, I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari, your hair doctor. And I am, let's get my phone off. And I'm here each and every week, right here to now. Today, I'm live in my studio, my World Trichology Institute. I have a studio right here. And if you're ever in my city, Memphis, Tennessee, come on down and tour my facility. I love it, absolutely love it. It's a blessed place. We call it the Hair Super Center. And that's because anything you don't know about hair, you can usually find it out here. So super excited. But today we're going to talk about several things. I'm going to talk about gel. Gel. How many of you still using gel? Wow, this is crazy. Gel. Gel was years ago was like the next best thing to a relaxer. It just absolutely controlled your hair. So gel it is. Okay, we want to make sure that we are, let's see, make sure we got good sound. We do. But is gel, quote unquote, stunting your hair growth? That's an interesting question. We're going to talk about that today. Is gel causing your hair to grow, as some people used to believe, or is gel causing you to lose your hair? Interesting. And why would it? Then we're going to talk about comparing our hair. You know, this whole little good hair, bad hair thing. We're going to just talk about that. Can we really compare our hair? Am I supposed to look at your hair and say, oh, you have good hair, or your hair and say you have bad hair, or why won't my hair do this and why is your hair doing that? Well, we're going to talk about the dangers to comparing your hair. I'm excited about that because I think we just need to squash that once and for all. But we're going to deal with that whole situation. And we're also going to talk about some other good things. We're going to talk about, we always have to talk about heat damage, but there's supposed to be some little trendy way to protect your hair from heat damage. Yeah, well, let's talk about the ways to protect your hair from heat damage. And can you actually enjoy your heated tools? Those of you who love your heated tools, your flat irons and all your curling irons and your pressing combs even. Yeah, pressing combs is still around. Those of you who enjoyed it, can you protect your hair? Now, okay, let's kind of deal with another situation that we're going to talk about today is long hair. Extra long hair. You know that kind of Crystal Gale? I don't know any of you who, I did some research, and Crystal Gale was, she had hair to her ankles, and there are other folks that had hair that way. But how do you get that hair? Is it even possible to have that extra long hair? And really, is all of it hair, their hair? Did they grow it from their scalp? Or is it something that it's your hair because maybe you bought it, huh? We're going to deal with that today. We're going to talk about, and the main reason I want to talk about that extra long hair is because I really want us to be okay with whatever we've decided to do as it relates to our hair. And then we're going to talk a little bit about thinning hair. We always have to talk about that. Heated tools, thinning hair. There's some staples. We just have to talk about them because people are still looking at thinning hair and they're still looking at heated tools, and they want that addressed. I get tons of emails about those things. We're going to open up my chat room so that I can hear what you have to say and get your questions in. And we're not going to do as much celebrity. We got a little bit here about the Emmy and what they did on the Emmy Award. And Well, it was okay. It wasn't that interesting to me. And I think what is so super, super important is that we make sure that what you need to hear is what I'm giving you. I want to be able to find a way, whenever I talk about celebrity here, FYI, I want to find a way to give you information on how to get that celebrity look and be safe. That's really why I do celebrity hair. So if you're just tuning in for the very first time, welcome to the show. I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari, and I try to come to you each and every week right here. I either be in my studio or I will be live in the WDA studio. But today I'm at the World Trichology Institute, and I kind of like it here with my backdrop and all that. And I just love it. And so what I'm going to do is try to do a little bit more of that. That will be super cool. What do you think about that? Okay, so let me get my chat room open. And let's get that on mute so we can make sure that we're not blabbering all over the place and double talking is what it really looks like. Okay, so press C key to. All right, so I'm really, really excited to be here. I really want to, let me see if I can get this. It says, I'm trying to make sure my chat room is open because that is so cool and super important. Let's see, press okay, and what we're trying to do is get a chat room open so that you guys can join in the show. Okay, all right, so you know they're always doing these updates here, and they said press the Alt key to pause the chat, then point to a message to delete it, block the user, or take other actions. Let us know how this works for you. Got it. Okay, I got it. So just let my chat room folks in there. There we go. Okay. You know, they do these updates, and you really have to almost, when you're going to be online and have your cyber stuff going on, cyber chats, cyber reading, cyber everything, you really have to check to see if there's any updates before you go on the air live, because, wow, they'll have one right there for you. So I just read that one. So welcome, my cyber family. The chat room is now open. I'm also going to do a little bit. I've got some questions. I've got some comments. Lovely lady made several comments. We're going to see what she's saying here. She's got actually on several of my videos. Let's see if we can go down some of them. And so we're going to do that today. And so welcome to the show. All right, now you know what I always try to do before I get started on the show, and those of you who can't see me, who are not tuned in live, you know how you do it on the internet, cyberspace, then you will hear me on the radio and you won't see it, but you can always go back because all of my videos, all of my shows are archived, and really I'm here for you. So I also need you to email me, lisa@lisaakbari.com. And if you have a topic, if you want me to discuss something, if you have a question for me, then please, please, please email me and say, hey, you know what? I'd like to know more about that. So that will be pretty cool for me because it gives me an opportunity to serve you better. Because again, this is my way of reaching out and giving back. Also, you can call my institute if you want to have a hair and scalp analysis. I'm open every day except Sundays, and I actually don't see patients during the week, but you can call to get an appointment Tuesday through Saturday or Monday through Saturday from starting at 9 a.m. That's pretty cool. So thank you so much for tuning in. And that number is 901-380-4445. So as you guys are loading on, I appreciate you doing that. And as you're loading on, we're going to go right. I'm going to do my hair, like I said, and I have let's take these sunglasses off. It's a beautiful day, by the way. And I have my scrunchie, and this is a white one. And I kind of wanted to show you guys these scrunchies so you can see how to take them off. Try to take them off layer per layer of the scrunchie. Make sure your hair is totally clear of the scrunchie, and then move the scrunchie away. That's really important. This is one, and I have it white because a lot of people ask me if this fabric is friendly. It's not the most friendly fabric, but it passed the test. And the reason is because it has this nylon thread, stretch thread inside, so you can maneuver it and it doesn't seem to pull the hair. But you do need to take it off layer per layer and then take it off. Okay. All right. So there's my hair, and I'm just going to make my big fro. I'm just going to pull it out. And again, I do this because I need you guys to understand just how flexible your hair is and how versatile our natural hair is and how much we can do anything we want to do with it. So I'm going to start with that, and then we're going to get right to the show. All right. So if you have any questions, my chat room is open, and you can also call or email me. You can email me at Lisa@lisaakbari.com, and that's LISA at LISAAKBARI.com. That is really, really important that you do that if you need to ask me a question and you're maybe tuning in and you're not able to see the actual video of me doing things to my hair. And you can see, like, here I go, and there it is. And I was able to do the fro, and I'm getting to the length where I have to pat it down. I remember that back in the 70s, they would pat their fro down, and did I remember hearing about that, or was I around in the 70s? That's for me to know and you to find out. Okay, so now you've got my fro. It's doing something weird over here. Okay, so now, also, guys, I am married and I have an anniversary tomorrow. So I have an anniversary. I have twin daughters, and I have an anniversary, and wedding anniversary, my husband and I. And so I am just going to have a good time praising the Lord, thanking God. I enjoy being married, I do. And I have a beautiful husband, and he's a cool guy. But marriage is give, and give, and pray to get it back. Not a show about marriage, but that's what I found, is that if we can give to the Lord and pray to get it back, we'll have a good marriage. Okay. All right. So now let's get to the show. All right. So what are we going to talk about first? Let's talk about, what was the one? Gel. I think that was gel. And if gel is causing a problem with my hair, will gel make my hair grow? Will gel cause my hair to break? What is gel really doing for me? Now, I'm going to tell you, gel, I used to say to back in my hairstyling days before I became a trichologist, I would always talk about gel as being the next best thing to a relaxer. And people use gels for all reasons, because gel gives the ultimate control over your hair. Now, why does it do that? And let's talk about that for a minute. Because what gel is made of? Gel is made of a protein in most cases, but it's also a lot of polymers, they're like artificial coverings. They're almost like a little really, really fine, I would say, lack of a better way to put it, I would say something like a rubber. It's just really, and it takes and it literally smothers your cuticle layer, your top layer. So what happens is your hair will lay down flat if you need it, which is what a lot of people do, use gel to pull back. It also will control frizz. And so like with natural hair, most people want that control, and so they'll go to gel. And the thing is, it also has some problems. With many of them have a high alcohol content, which is extremely dehydrating for hair. So you've got, those are the things. Now the pros is it totally control the hair. The cons, the bad part is it has a high alcohol content, so usually, and it dehydrates, and many of them are made of high levels of protein, not balanced in with moisture. And so what happens is the hair will dehydrate and the hair will break. Now, the other problem with any gel that I've ever tried, I've ever done any kind of study on, they are not clean. Now, you know how big I am on clean hair products. And what do I mean by clean hair products? And I always want to stress that. A clean hair product is one that will either do one or two things. It should do both. One, it will dissipate over a period of time. So if I put moisturizer on my hair and I don't put it on for the next few days, it should eventually dissipate from my hair. So it should leave the hair. The other piece is when the other thing that is clean is water soluble, or it will break down well in water. So if you don't have products that break down well in water, so when the water hits, and this is the way to test, put any product on your hand, let it dry, and if it's an oil or a moisturizer, of course, you're not going to worry about drying, but like a gel, let it dry and smear it over there, nice smear, and then put water, warm water over it, just the water. You don't have shampoo, water, and see if it starts to break up and break down. Then that's a product that when you do shampoo will rinse clean from your hair. So even though some products are not totally compatible or totally blend well, like oil and water mix, you still want a product that when the water hits it, it begins to break down. And that's your own little test at home because you're not chemists. So make sure. So the problem with gels, they don't do that. They stick to the scalp. And as a trichologist, I look for things that cosmetic pollutants, environmental pollutants, scalp pollutants, because they will pollute. A pollutant pollutes the scalp, but then the pollutants that you will find in categories are cosmetic on your scalp and hair, cosmetic, scalp, and environmental. Well, cosmetic pollutants will, and that's why I have such issues and problems with, I think it's very dangerous and problematic to do no pooling or co-washing. And all of those things are a problem because what happens is eventually it will solidify along the surface of the epidermis, fold into the creases of your follicular units, which are the little pores that house your follicles, in the creases of the actual follicle itself, which is the pore that houses your hair strand. And then it will eventually cause a blockage over a period of time. So gels are bad. While they will style the hair, and you just face it, guys, you know, most of you are motivated by, the mirror. Okay, I'm looking in the mirror. My hair looks good. Okay, I'm ready to go. Now, forget about what I did, just bullied and tortured my hair to get it that way. Wow. So this is what we have to think about, and I call it the care factor. So when you're using gels, you have to say, okay, is this a clean product? And please email me, lisa@lisaakbari.com, if you have a clean gel. I'd like to know about it. But I have not found one in the many, many years that I've been practicing as a trichologist. So with that being said, gel would have to get a thumbs down. And also, with that being said, will gel stunt my hair growth? Then what gel will do, it will do two things. We talked about it dehydrating. We talked about it creating blockages around the mouth of the follicle and the mouth of the follicular unit. So I would have to say yes. And the reason why it will not, I have to say a yes and a no. It can't stop your, I have to say yes. I'm being a little fickle here, right? No. I would have to say yes because gel will cause several problems. Here you go. Number one, when it does the blockage, it could cause a problem with the hair emerging from the mouth of the follicle. So if you have the follicle there, that pore is all clogged. It's like hair is stuck underneath that plug or blockage. The other piece is it pathogens, disease-causing bacteria, and then because they live, breed, and grow in solidified pollutants that are on your scalp or in pollutants. So if you don't shampoo your hair, you get all these pathogens to live, breed, and grow around your scalp itch, you have problems. Then you end up in the dermatologist's office. Okay, that's another show in itself. But what happens is that could cause, even when you scratch, because it'll cause the itch, one of the things that gel will cause over a period of time is an itch. Once you scratch, then you could tear the epidermis and then tear into the dermis and cause some irritations and inflammation. So that's when it'll stop your hair from growing, because if you have inflammation in the follicle where the hair is being produced, then eventually scarring will develop and you will end up with something called cicatricial, which is a scar and alopecia. So there's so many things that could happen that's why I say yes and no. While it just causes a blockage and you could still be growing underneath, you could have a problem with your actual follicle malfunctioning because of inflammation. So then it could stop functioning as it should, and you could stop actually growing or producing a hair, that follicle. So now the other piece is it can cause you, I would have to say stunt, and I have to do quote unquote because I've used that word forever, stunt you obtaining length because what happens is over a period of time, okay, you put the gel on, your hair smooths back, you keep it smooth back, you come a few weeks later, you shampoo it, you slick it back again with the gel. So you're not manipulating your hair. So you're obtaining length. The problem is that hair is dehydrated hair obtaining length. So when you start trying to style it, then it breaks off. So it keeps you, while you may get some length while it's pulled back, it keeps you from keeping length. So you go into something called short hair syndrome. So you lose the ability to not only obtain, you can obtain length, but keep the length. Yeah, oops, there it is. So that's the problem. Okay, guys, so there it is about gel. So I have to give gel thumbs down. Do not use gel. I mean, I know that there's a lot to be done, and there's articles written about it, and they go into depth, and then they try to give you some gels that they think are okay. They're just not. I mean, even though if they're free of alcohol, the molecular weight, the molecules that make up gels are just too large, even in the most natural ones. Like a lot of times they talk about aloe vera gel. Now, that will be just easy peasy, cool and easy to just say, okay, let's use aloe vera gel, pure state, beautiful, great for the hair and scalp. Nah, but molecules that make it up are too large. We're working now on some gels, trying to create, and I've been doing that for years. And I look at several things. Number one, I look at how the health of the hair once the gel is developed. And then I look at how it's going to style the hair and if it's going to give you the kind of versatility and flexibility. If I can't get that, then I am not going to create that gel. So gels are thumbs down. So even the ones that say they're natural and they're mixed with all these things, no, they're just not going to be a good product for you. And a lot of these sites will advertise for these gels, and they'll tell you to use apple cider vinegar and do all these things to remove it. And, but no, this is not good because you go from dry to drier. So be careful. Okay, so that's my take on gel. Will it stunt your hair growth? It could cause a problem with inflammation. This is your takeaway. And it also could cause a problem with you having dehydrated hair. So I would not recommend it at all. Okay. All right. So if you're just tuning in for the very first time, I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari, your hair doctor. And today we're here talking about hair. We're talking about whatever you like to talk about as it relates to your hair. My chat room is open. And I got several things that I'm talking about. I'm just finished talking about hair growth and gel and can it stunt your hair growth. And we're going to talk about comparing your hair next because that's really crucial. My chat room is open. You can go to my YouTube page, Lisa Akbari, and you can just type in Lisa Akbari and on YouTube, and then you'll be able to get me, yay, live and in color. And you can email me, lisa@lisaakbari.com, or you can call my institute Monday through Saturday at 901-380-4445. That's 901-380-4445. Okay, dokie. So what are we talking about now? We're talking about comparing our hair. Let's make sure we've got these up here because I think it's just crucial for us to think about this now. Let's see if we've got some. Yeah, we've got plenty of celebrities because you know how often a lot of times you guys will say, well, you know what, I want, let's go and see if my chat room, it's open, guys. I don't see anybody chatting with me yet, but you're listening. I know when you're not chatting, you're listening, so no worries. Okay, now there's been many articles on this whole comparing my hair, and we look at entertainers and we say, I really want that hair. And we look at people on YouTube and they have this long hair, they have this hair that does this curl pattern and it does these things, and they say, oh, it was very little effort and I have this hair. You ask, why is her hair going so fast? Is her type of hair prettier than mine? Why can't my hair be gorgeous even in the transition stage? You know, these questions have one simple answer. You aren't that person. You don't have her parents, you don't have her hair, and you're not going to have the exact hair that she has. Whole different gene pool. Okay, so, but let me just say this. Don't let it be a hard pill to swallow. It's just the way it is. But let me tell you, as a trichologist for many, many years, and making hair products, at least the Akbari hair nutrition system, I know one thing. Some research has showed me that if you are, and we're just going to talk to the sisters just for a minute with natural kinky hair. If you're a sister and you have naturally kinky hair, and you want your hair to look like her hair, or let's just say you want your hair to wave, I will tell you something that you can get. You can have wavy hair. Now you say, whoa, that's not true. Yes, you can. Let me tell you why. If you pay attention to every baby, newborn baby, we're talking to the sisters, we're talking about natural kinky hair now, because this has been a big deal for people with natural kinky hair. I have my sisters with naturally straight hair, my white sisters, my black sisters, my Asian sisters, my Latino sisters, and I have all that. But today I'm talking to the black sisters or the white sisters or whoever's got natural kinky hair. Okay, throughout your hair journey, during your transition time, especially if you're transitioning, you always talk about you wish you had her hair. You talk about these, you know, and a lot of women are serious. You know, it just, the thing is, you don't have to be worried about it. You don't have to be sad about it. You don't have to worry. Think about every newborn baby, African American or natural kinky hair. When that baby's born, that hair has a wave pattern. If you go and, you know, and they don't put them in the little nursery as much now, they go straight to the mom's room, but they have natural wave pattern, because our natural hair has a wave pattern. Now the wave pattern may be slight degree of kinkiness, it may be extreme kinkiness, and it's something between, but it is still a wave pattern. The thing that you're wanting is to be able to control your wave. You want it to wave, you want it to do what you want it to do and not what it wants to do. I don't have a slight kinky hair. I have medium to extreme. Okay, so I have very spiral hair, but I do get the wave pattern, and it's all in two things. One, hair care and hair product. Simple. Now, you know that I don't do a lot of shows talking about my product and trying to sell it, but I'm telling you, in the studies that I've conducted, if you have an environment for your hair to be healthy, here's just dead keratinized cells. If you can allow those keratinized cells to be at the point where that hair is just being cared for properly, is protected, and is preserved, then your cuticle layer will be more compact over your cortex. which is where your strength bonds are and where your moisture levels and porosity, because it's really about porosity. To put a pin in that word porosity, because we're going to talk about that. If you have that tight cuticle, then you will find that your hair will be manageable and you will have that wave pattern. So you can stop comparing your hair to your friend, your white sister, your caramel sister. You can have the dark sister like me and have hair that waves. And I'm gonna tell you how. Products and healthy hair. So if you have healthy hair and the hair that's got, and we talk about that porosity, equal porosity. See, equal porosity is not just how you're absorbing your products, that's the definition, but it also says that your hair is healthy if you have equal porosity. If you have a damaged cuticle, damaged hair, then you're going to have poor porosity. See, damaged hair causes all the problems. It's not manageable. It tangles easy, all those problems. So what I want you to focus on is not getting her hair or hair or his hair for that matter. Focus on getting healthy hair. And I can help you with that. So email me. Tell me all your stories. You can go on my website. You can do strand reading. Send me those strand samples. I'll put those strands under the microscope. I'll put, after I get them on the microscope, I'll send you pictures, digital copies of them, so you can see what is happening. I'll send a video pointing out what's happening, why you have an issue, and then I'll help you get wave hair or get length or whatever you want. Okay? All right. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari, your hair doctor, and I'm here today talking about hair. We were just talking about, can gel stunt your hair growth? We were talking about extra. We're going to talk about extra long hair next. But we were talking about comparing your hair. Just ask me. I'm here. That's what I'm here for. But my chat room is open. It's awfully quiet on that chat room. Shocked and amazed. But we're going to keep it moving. All right. So now the next thing we want to do is talk about extra long hair. Because you know what, guys? That's a biggie. This extra long hair thing is like, okay, you know what? I want long hair. Why can't I, quote unquote, grow my hair? Why does this person have extra long hair? Wow. It's like a nightmare. We got to decode this thing. We've got to say, what's the breakdown? Why do we have some people have long hair? Why do some people seem to not be able to grow hair? Why? It's almost kind of like when you were talking about why we can't have hair like hers. It's like, why can't I have long hair like hers? Well, here's the deal. And you'll notice even with me, because somebody called me out on this about long hair I think it was last year. And they said, listen, your hair seems to be the same length all the time. And why does your hair seem to get longer? And well, I had to admit, and I did all my little pictures and my videos, and I showed all the way back to 2007, I think it was. And this is like 2017. And when you look at this video in a few years, if you do 18 to 19, whatever. But the bottom line is I was not getting length. My hair was growing, but I wasn't getting length. And I was conducting a study on why we can't get length. Why can't we get extra long hair? What is going on? You know, long hair is really the trend now. And if you in 2017, people want long hair. I mean, you look at, I don't care if you're white, you're black, you're Asian, you whatever. Long, straight, flat iron hair. That's a big deal. I mean, you cannot beat that look. People are like, that's the look. She looks lovely. And they want to swing it. They want to move it. I don't care what color you are. Females are now into really long hair. It's the trend right now. So we're going to decode this thing. Well, the reason why I wasn't getting longer hair, because I was conducting a study to prove the theory about why women didn't get long hair. And I just didn't talk about it much. I just kind of did it. But somebody called me out and I had to explain it. And short hair syndrome is what I discovered. The reason why you're not able to get long hair is several reasons. One, it's not genetically linked after a certain length. It's just not, it's not in your gene pool. It's just not genetically linked. But Everybody can get anywhere, anyone. The average strand grows. See, it's all about what the follicle can do. And hair follicle is what controls it all. The follicle either is going to stay on your hair, and guys, I'm in low battery. Hope I don't lose battery. The follicle is okay. The follicle is going to help you in several ways. Number one, your hair follicle is going to determine your growth cycle, growing, shedding, and resting. That follicle will grow a hair from your scalp on average 2, 4, or 6 years. That's pretty much what our averages are. Low average 2, high average 6. Beyond that, it's strongly, even in 6, it's strongly genetically linked. And even in 2, the average really middle weights is 4. So that means it's growing in just an average adult, children and teens and folks in their 20s, and it's all genetically linked, are generally going to grow hair faster. But hair grows at an average about half an inch every 4 to 8 weeks. So let's just say you're growing a half an inch every 4 weeks. Then if you look at 12 months, you should have at least what? If it's half an inch every 4 weeks, in 12 months, you should have what? 6 inches of hair. That's 1 year. The second year, you should have at least 12 inches of hair. That's just the 2 years, and that's the low average. If it's 4, so 12 and 12 is what? 24. So where's our 24 inches of hair? It's breaking as fast as it's going. I conducted a study on why we lose hair. Why doesn't our hair get length? And the reason our hair does not get length to that 24 inches is because either we cut it off or we break it off. That's pretty much it. If it's slow growing, where's our 12 inches of hair? Okay? It's all about the shaft. So there's 2 things you want to look at. You want to say, is my hair growing? And this is how you know. You get in the mirror, you part your hair, no bald spots, you see plenty of hair at the scalp, your hair is growing. You see bald spots, your hair is not emerging. It may be growing inside the follicle and being blocked, or it just is not growing. So if you don't see any bald spots, you just have short hair, your hair is growing. How fast it's growing, all of that can be determined from a trichologist. That's what I do every day. I let an individual know if their hair is growing or not. And then I talk to them about how fast it's pretty much growing. Those things are crucial. With that knowledge, you're empowered to really help yourself. You're empowered to because most people are all over the place. My hair just won't grow. My hair just won't grow. Oh, I don't know why my hair won't grow. No, your hair is growing if it's emerging from the scalp. The bottom line is we have to make sure that the hair is staying. Are we breaking it? Are we overexposing it to what? Manipulation, detangling, chemicals, heated tools, bad hair products? What are we doing to our hair? Are we protecting it and preserving it? That's the bottom line. If you protect and preserve your hair, and your hair it has emerged from the scalp, no bald spots, then your hair is growing. You've developed something called short hair syndrome. So if you are going to have hair to your ankles and all of that, and it's not genetically linked for you to do it, like Crystal Gale, and there's some other folks, and by the way, I need to say a couple of other things because this is crucial. You can get long hair. Why do people with locks seem to have long hair? That's because when your hair sheds from that lock, it locks. It doesn't fall. So it connects. Okay, it sheds away, it locks. Another one up here sheds away, it locks. Pushing that down. Sheds away, it locks. Pushing that down. So it gets longer. So your shedded hair does not go anywhere. It just keeps pushing down and you obtain length. The other way is when you have weave, you can have whatever length hair you want then. Just put it on there. And I can tell you a lot of these celebrities are buying this expensive weave and they're just putting it on. They're just sewing it in. They're gluing it in. They're doing all kinds of things. and they're getting long hair. But if you want to obtain your potential length of hair and you have tried everything and you cannot get in length, then you can see a trichologist, one who uses a handheld microscope, have a strand reading, send that in to me, come into my clinic. You need to get to the root cause. Be sure your hair is growing. Make sure that if it's growing, at what rate it's growing. Then if you found out the rate is growing, you just have to, all these things, crucial, important. Guys, I may have to take a little second break so that I can make sure I don't lose battery. And if you're tuning in for the very first time, I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari, your hair doctor. And today we are talking about hair. My chat room is open. I'm going to see if anybody has decided they want to chat with me, because usually when I start talking about hair this way, I got some stuff. I'm here. I want to study trichology. My hair growing journey is, she said, depressing. I have slow, uneven growth. Come on, you have hair, and let's talk about that uneven growth. Are we having uneven growth, or are we having uneven length? There is a difference, because you can have some hair breaking on one area. You can have hair that's not breaking on another area of your head. Short hair syndrome comes in 4 phases. Let's make sure we get this. Let's see if I can get, it's trying to find some internet, and I've got a low battery, so it's just really, these are just yeah. But anyways, let's kind of get back to this. You can have hair if you haven't developed short hair syndrome. There's different phases to short hair syndrome. Number 1, phase 1 is you can have hair with some length, but that hair is dry, lack moisture, won't hold the style. It's just blah, there, just big hair. The other phase, that's phase 1 phase, but it still is long, and it seems to be okay full. A lot of people have that phase when they come out of braids. They have hair, it's all long, but it's still short hair syndrome, because that hair only grew because you covered it up, but it's you know, it's just out of balance. Protein is weak and it's dry. Then you have hair that's phase 2. Phase 2 is you have long hair, but it's thin. You can look and you can see straight through it. It's just thin hair, length thin. So now you've lost the ability to obtain your potential fullness to the hair. Your texture has changed. You've had an unnatural texture change, usually from overexposure. Next, then you have these problems with hair that's, even though it's exposed, I'm going to grab, hey, hold that, put a pin in it, hold on, put a pause on it, guys. I'll be right back, right here on Ask the Hair Doctor. I have to get my power cord, and because I am about to lose power. See? Okay, guys, I am back. I am back, and I have power, so I will not lose power on the air. That would be awful. Okay, let's see. Okay, guys, I am back. Okay, now, all right, length, it breaks off. I have slowly uneven hair. So, guys, that was a really bad thing, because that was like a break on the radio. So I had dead air. Okay, so forgive me. I love you guys. Forgive me. All right, so now I'm back. We were talking about short hair syndrome. So we did phase 1. Well, you have hair, but it's dry, and it won't hold style, so it's dry and weak. And then you have hair that's in phase 2 that's long but thin. You know, that hair you can see straight through. Phase 3 is a combination. Now, keep in mind, in short hair syndrome, and this was conducted by me. I have it on my website, lisaakbari.com, if you want to know more about short hair syndrome and everything. That, let's see, I know that I've got the power cord. Let's make sure it is got power. Let's go back. Okay, guys, this is really, really hard for me right now because for some reason, let's make sure we have power everywhere. We just gotta have power. We can't run out of power, guys. All right, so, and that's not plugged. Okay, so let me do this, guys. I'm still here, and we're still talking about short hair syndrome. So phase 3, you just won't be able to see me. Just pay attention to that, but you can hear me. Phase 3 of short hair syndrome is a combination because each phase of short hair syndrome takes along its previous phase. Keep that in mind. So phase 3 of short hair syndrome simply says that we are going to have hair, but some parts will be long and thin, and some parts will be, let's get this right here, and some parts, oops, it's in, yay. And let's see if I've got power. And then some parts will be short and broken. Some parts will be long and thin. And some parts will be just really, really super short. So I've got power here, but it doesn't seem to be coming on. So guys, I may lose you. There we go. Yay, I think I got it. We may have that little beeping. Okay. Is it going to do that for me? Okay. You know what? This is reality TV. I always tell everyone, my show is like reality TV. It's like, so you may have the beeping in the background. We may even lose power. I don't know. But anyways, this is a great show. But anyway, I'm going to try to get to final. And short hair syndrome phase 4. Oh, that's loud. Short hair syndrome phase 4 is where it almost looks like you're bald. So you see these hairlines and there's just no hair there. It's just like completely bald. So here we are, and there it is. I have power and I won't go out, but I'm having this beeping noise. Let's see if that'll do it. I think I'm still on. I think I still have power charging, but we'll see. Okay, so let's try this once more. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, you don't ever remember hearing this beeping, but we have beeping in the background. What is that called? Malfunctioning of your technology. But I want you to know I'm here each and every week right here for you, and we're here for 1 hour. And for that full hour, I am your hair doctor. Next week, I promise you, we won't have that beeping. But this week we have it, and we're going to press on because we're talking about some really, really good stuff. Okay? Okay, so as I said, I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari, your hair doctor, and we're talking about hair. We're talking about why you can't get long hair. And the reason we can't get hair with length is because our hair is just not going to obtain that length. Either it's not genetically linked for us to have that length, or we are growing hair, but we're breaking it off almost as fast as we're growing. Short hair syndrome. So if you have more questions, there are several things you can do with me. You can call my institute at 901-380-4445. Come in, let me put your scalp and hair under the microscope. I can help you to get that hair. The other thing is you can do a cyber reading. If you're like in another country, in another state, and you just can't make it to Memphis, Tennessee, then you can do a cyber reading. Go on my website, lisaakbari.com, or call 901-380-4445. I have a busy website, and so they can send you a link to that cyber reading. So you'll have that time with me. I can see your hair. We're going to do a Google Hangout where we can see each other, and then I can go over everything that I need to go over to help you know whether this is short hair syndrome or whether or not this is something that's going to require a different kind of in-person visit. Then you can also send strand readings. I will be able to read your strands. There's a link there on my website for strand reading. And it's just where you send in your strand samples, fill out the questionnaire, and tell me what's going on. And then I look at the strands. I'll send you digital copies of the strands and what I found. And I can tell you whether you have short hair syndrome or there are other problems. So there you go. there's help here, and I'm your help. I appreciate it. So I'm hoping that we're back up. There we go. And now we have, it says, I know many, oops, this is terrible, guys. Oh my Lord, this is so funny. But anyway, this one says, I know many women, including myself, who have used gel for years, yet still manage to achieve healthy long hair. Do you think the issue is more about how one handles the hair versus the gel itself? I get it. I do believe that it is about how you handle your hair, but you have to understand short-term length and long-term length. You're not going to have long-term length if you don't have, it appears to be healthy, but it's not healthy. Here's what happens. There's a false sense of security, a false sense of, a bunch of things when it comes to styling products. Every styling product that I have used, every gel, every product that I have ever used, I always try to look at what it does with the hair long term, not short term, long term. So I know what you're saying. You said for years you've used gel and you have healthy long hair. I get that. I would just like for you, and this is something you could just put in a Ziploc bag, send me your strands, please. And because you brought this up, and this is a great, great thing to bring up. You brought it up, just send me your samples, and at no charge to you, and this owl, at no charge to you, I will take a look at those strands just so you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And I would love to be proven wrong if it's a possibility, because this is why I put this out here. I want to know if it is a possibility that I'm wrong. But over the years, for many, many years, I have found that when you use gel of any type, I don't care, I've tried, and I've been in this a long time. Whenever you use of any type, there is an issue with you being able to have hair that with any length and quality. So if you have a long, remember short hair syndrome, you can stay in short hair syndrome phase 1 for years. You can stay in it. You can have hair that's long, but it underneath it's weak and it's dry. Ask yourself a couple of questions. Do I wear a lot of protective styles? Do I wear a lot of weave, sewings? Those are things, okay? So please, please, please. You said, I don't use, okay, here you go. She says, yes, this makes sense. I don't use heat, and I always rinse it out after 3 days. And I always use sheets butter and moisturizer for applying the gel. Okay, so here, shea butter. Okay, so here's the deal. So the gel is not actually attaching to your hair as much as it's attaching to all the products, especially if it's any kind of butter. Because, wow, this is so cool. Thank you so much for this. Because the butter itself, the molecular weights, the molecules that make up any butter product are so dense that those butter products are going to be like a shield for the gel. And so what you're doing is pushing with the gel, you're sealing in any butter product or moisturizer. So it depends on the moisturizer, and then use the gel. So totally, yeah, that totally makes sense. She said, what is your intake on growth peels and eating healthy? The hair peels healthy overall. Okay. There are 2 categories of hair loss. When you lose hair, 2 categories of hair growth. One, you've got hair loss because of internal follicular issues, and the other reason is because of external. Now, internal is where the peels help. Internal, if you have a vitamin that you're taking, hair growth vitamin, it's usually going to always have biotin in it because biotin produces keratin. Keratin is what the protein that produces protein. No. Biotin produces the keratin. I'm so excited for your questions. But biotin is what actually is what hair produces protein, the keratin, and keratin is what the hair is mostly composed of. Get it together, Lisa. Okay, now what happens is the vitamins help your follicle to function properly. So now you have a functioning follicle. It's functioning as it should. So now you have a better functioning product follicle, so your hair is growing at the rate it should grow at in most cases. External, once it does grow from your scalp, how are you managing it? How are you manipulating it? So that's why it's so crucial for us to talk about the gels and the other things, because there's internal and external. If you have an external alopecia, that could just be blockages. So I know it's full. We get so full with this, all this, it just seems like a lot. I love you guys for these chats, because if I am here talking to me and you're listening, okay. But when you ask questions, not only do you benefit, but so many others benefit. And this Owl and Tanisha, oh, you guys have given me some great questions, some great food for thought. But I really do want to see your strand samples. This Owl, I hope I'm saying that right. I want to see your strand samples. So put them in a plastic bag and put, remind me with a little letter, reminding me everything we talked about. And then I want to see it just for your sake, because I really want you to know that it's so crucial. It's so crucial. It really is crucial that I see what condition your strands are in, because I want to make sure that you're okay. You said, what you said makes sense. I would never add gel along to my strands. What exactly is about gel that causes the damage? The alcohol content, the molecular weight, the fact that it's not clean. Gels do not seem to rinse clean from your hair. They just stick and stick and stick. So when you have the butters and all the other products in, they tend to not have as many problems. I would see Tony for short. I really want to send my samples. Okay, all right. So what I want you to do is, I want you to go on my website and click on strand reading. Fill out that information and then make sure that you send all of that into me. Okay. Now, you said, what about natural gel? And we talked about this at first. You must have just tuned in. No worries. Natural gel, even if it's aloe vera, because like these are things you know. I have a lab in my institute, and I spend a lot of time trying to come up with the best product, whatever works well for you, that kind of thing. Natural gels, the actual molecules that make up a gel are so large, even on aloe vera gel. And that's just pure gel. I use it a lot in products. The problem is when you leave that in and style with it, you start to get this white cakey feeling. That's why a lot of that eco gel and a lot of those things, they tend to get a lot of that, because it's just not going to blend well with the cuticle. And so, and then they have some issues with rinsing, not as much as the other gels with the high alcohol content, but the natural gels tend to not rinse as clean from the hair. So over a period of time, you have something called a cosmetic pollutant, and that starts to solidify. It's really damaging for your scalp because it creates an itch. It can create for your hair a dullness. It's just over a period of time. You don't want anything that smothers the cuticle. I have natural hair. Now I'm still coming out of that study on short hair syndrome. So if you look at my hair, you can say, I can see through those areas. Those are that older hair where I actually am doing that study and trying to go into my get the length. It's just, I do so much with my own hair. But what I'm saying is you will have, I conduct these studies on my own hair to prove the theories that I have. Okay, so natural gel still could be a problem. All right, you said, so what do you think about IOC, leave in oil and cream method? I mean, you know, it's so cool how you guys, and it's really our fault as professionals. I mean, it's the trichology field for sure, because I seem to be the only trichologist out here really attacking this. And I'm not just patting myself on the back. I just seem to be out there. Now, but then it's also this issue with you being left alone and having to come up with these things. And this is one thing that happened. When you guys were left alone and you came up with this whole little thing of, oh, well, I'm going to come up with my own method. Let me just tell you about leave-in oils and creams. Oils and moisturizers are very important support products for your hair. Oil Sheen, I have a product called Oil Sheen in a jar and one called Moisture Plus Moisturizer. The way you use these products, number one, you put the moisturizer on first, then the oil. But if you put the oil on first and then the moisturizer, kind of counteracts because more oil seals and moisture hydrates. What you want is to hydrate the hair, and then you want to seal it in. Period. It's real simple, but you also want a clean product. So you want to make sure you're using a product that rinses clean. I know you guys love olive oil and you love castor oil and all these. Leave the olive oil for the salad. Use castor oil. I think when we were growing up, we had to take that stuff too. If you're not going to find a way to get those pressed into the actual skin, they'll benefit the skin. That's used through a treatment that I have in my institute called Galvanic. If you're not able to do that, then it doesn't benefit as well. It just kind of sits on top. So be really, really careful when using a lot of those kinds of oils. This is a conversation, a side conversation. We need to do a show on oils because I think it's really, really crucial. But to answer your question, Bernice, I think it's okay to use oils and moisturizers, not just the creams, but because the creams tend to have a blend of things in there. You just want to make sure that you use a moisturizer and then the oil to seal. What do I think about shea butter? That was another question. Shea butter, any butters, any kind of, I wouldn't, years ago when it was first popular, I would not put it in my product. And the reason I wouldn't was because I felt like it's great for the skin, wonderful for the skin, but it's not great for the hair because with the skin, there's certain manipulations you can use and you continue to do it and the butter eventually goes into the skin. With the hair, it's problematic because if it's not really worked in that hair, then you're going to end up with it sitting on top. It's going to start to solidify. It's going to attract dust and debris, and you're going to have an issue. Now, with you using it in, working it in, putting your gel on top of it, then you got kind of a cakey buildup, but it will protect it from the gel. So overall, I would have to say I wouldn't recommend shea butter. I know it's like I'm going against everything y'all believe in, and believe me, I am not one to say if it's not broken, don't let me try and fix it. If it's not broken and you love the way you're using these products and they're working well for your hair and you're really, really happy, then I'm happy for you. As a trichologist, you have to understand my point of view and why I have these point of views. The trichology field is all about long term. It's about healthy hair now, growing hair now, healthy scalp now, protecting and preserving the hair now, and for years to come. It's not about one thing. It's about all of it. How am I going to have healthy hair now and for years to come? I said most of the women with the longest hair I've ever seen use shea butter, and their hair appears to be super healthy. I get it. And you have to understand, I understand what you're saying. I'm looking at it microscopically, and I'm looking at long term. And that's why I invite you to do the strand reading, just for your sake, just so you can see. Okay? Okay, pretty cool. Well, guys, if you're just tuning in for the very first time, I've been really going at it with my chat room, folks. Thank you. My cyber family. Always love you guys. You guys are wonderful. You always supply me with plenty of questions. I'm Lisa Akbari, your hair doctor. And for the next few minutes, it's about time to get off the air. I am going to be here with you, talking to you more about your hair and scalp. Let's see, where are we? Because we are about to run out of time. Let's see how much time we've had. Oops, we are out of time. Guys, this is the end of the show. We're going to talk about thinning. We're going to talk about heat damage. We're going to talk about all that on the next show. I love you guys. To God be the glory. In Jesus, you have a wonderful, blessed morning, evening, or afternoon. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye now.